All right, it's always a delight to have you on the show, Flip Side, the other side of the news. Good afternoon, my name is Daisy Leo Asikiri, and I'll be your host on the show today. Yes, it's been a while now that you saw Oluijo Ikohai on the show, but don't worry, soon enough she'll be back. But for now, you have me all to yourself and my fantastic guests that keep giving us interesting and very enlightening tips on the show today. All right, today we'll be talking about the long holiday, the 2022 long holidays, and we'll be giving you tips for both kids and parents to get good health and wellness. So it's not just about being healthy after the holiday, it's also about being not about the physical health, but the mental health, everything all encompassing. That's what we'll discuss on the show today. When we talk about the long holidays, when I was in primary school, I was very excited about it. It's like a whole month of fun and play and plenty play. But after 1 week of the play, I want to see my friends in school again. My mom even makes me want to run back to school because she's a teacher. Then she has this, what have you read today habits. So she makes the holiday fun, but at the same time, tiring, you know. But I know she's watching right now. God, you can flog. So as much as we're giving her stress, because she was a teacher, when we have the long holidays, she automatically also is on holiday. So we give her a lot of stress. The house was full. It was a very big house, big family, large one. And as you stress her, if you're not careful, you will collect. But anyway, how do you enjoy these long holidays? And at the end of it all, you can say, even as a child, that it was a productive one. And you as the parents, you can say, this was a very productive holiday. Do you think this long holiday is too long? I know for those who are managing their resources and you have sons, they're thinking about the cost of feeding. Kids seem to eat more during holidays, and you're just spending the normal money you spend for snacks, you triples it, and you're still preparing for the new session. You buy uniforms, buy books, so it's a very expensive one too. But anyway, I have two guests in the house that will be discussing this long holiday and its many saga and ways you can enjoy it, because other long holidays will come. This is not the last one.
Sure.
All right, I have Afebo Omo Ihiroda in the house with me on the show today. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. He's a counselor and he's a parent as well. And for the name, Omo Ihiroda, I know you've heard that name before on Flip Side. Yes. But the person you know with that name is a woman. Okay. No, this is not a woman now. This is her husband. And it's such a delight to have you on for the first time on the show today.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Okay, and the other very elegant looking woman there. I like natural hair.
Thank you.
But I don't have the hair for it. I always cut my hair. All right, I have Mrs. Abimbola Amego. Amego is also a name you hear a lot, whether it's on Flip Side or Impact on radio or even this morning on ITV. Yes, but the Amego you know is a man, Abi. Okay, so this is his wife. We brought his wife today.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes,
Thank
it's my pleasure.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about this. She's also a parent as well, and she's also a counselor, a kids counselor. So let's discuss. First of all, what's your personal opinion? I'll ask both of you this about the long holidays. Do you think it's too long? Speaking as a mom, do you think the kids have too much time at home to play, or do you think it's not even long enough, or you think it's just perfect? So I'll start with you because you're closest to me.
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. My reaction would be, it's not even long enough.
Really?
Yes. Why would I say that? Because when we were much younger, I think the holidays were much longer than this.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
Because we were doing close to minimum of 2 months, and sometimes it may even get in between. But this particular one, or what we've been having now for some years now, if I'm not mistaken, it's just about 6 weeks. So when you say long, to me, for me, it's not even, I don't see it as being that long enough.
Wow. Okay.
So maybe I will stop there first before we say.
All right.
Yeah,
What do you
I don't
think
know what,
about the holidays?
to me, I don't think it's long. Because comparing what the children went through, the rigor
Yes.
of what they went through, going to school, school runs, lesson, and all those stuff. So to me, I don't think it's too long.
Interesting.
It's okay.
Ha, many parents will not agree. Oh.
It's not.
Yeah, they won't, but
So maybe we would have just changed the topic for a long holiday. Wow. Okay. Let's see how this goes. During these holidays, the kids are home more than they're in school,
Sure.
and they are prone to a lot of accidents and dangers. What are the accidents? What are some of the accidents or dangers you think kids are prone to, and how can we prevent this?
Okay, you are very correct. Being at home, it poses its own set of challenges
True.
and stress, if I may use that word. Some of them include domestic accidents in the course of play, because they will be playing more often than normal. And since they are not being restricted to their book work or studies or classroom activities, so they will be more prone to play, both within the house and outside. And that would mean they could have domestic accidents, playing with sharp objects here and there, bumping into things within and outside the house,
Running constantly.
running out without caution, not looking left and right.
True.
And such a careless or carefree attitude will be displayed in an increasing measure during this period. That is one. Security-wise, there may also be some challenges, because if you have working parents, both parents, the father and the mother, who go out a lot for their job and all that, then the children are left alone. And then there could be some security implications, especially what we are having now in our present day nation. So that could also be a challenge. There could also be challenges of of bordering on who and who is really with your child. Either peer pressure, even though we know that we have that in the school, but we have our teachers there and some regimented program of activities to curtail that. But where the parents are not fully at home, then you may not know who and who they are going out with. Sometimes we've heard of cases of rape, we've heard of cases of, especially when supposed uncles for the younger female children, supposed uncles now defy them and all that. So these are challenges that parents are bound to face in this period. But be that as it may, whatever challenge comes our way, then we should be up to the task with the right level of education, right level of knowledge, and not denying the fact that these things are possible. So we must not deny that. Sometimes some parents are in denial. When they tell them your child did this or your child did that in school, they go all out against the school or against the teachers and all that, not knowing that your child could actually be doing that right under your nose. So it's for us not to deny, educate ourselves, also educate the children, and then put necessary measures, like security-wise, put in necessary measures, know where they are at time, know who they are going out with, know if it's domestic accidents, you don't leave things carelessly in your home. Your sharp objects, if it's for small kids, your sharp objects will not be left anyhow. If it's things that you know they can easily play with and get endangered themselves, you should be careful of where you place them. Then security-wise, like I've said, be conscious, educate them too on things they should do. When to cry out for help, they should know. Though I know most of our kids these days are quite sharp, so they should know your numbers, so that if need be, you are called upon at any point in time. Maybe I will stop here.
Interesting. Now, when you mentioned something about security, I remembered my niece. That was just last week here. We went visiting with not just her, like all my mom's grandchildren that were currently in Benin.
Wow.
So I was with them, and we went there. The uncle I call him uncle too.
Okay.
So he was, hey, see, and tried to hug one of the nieces. And she just pushed him with style. Don't hug me. I felt bad. Then I remember like, oh, we teach these children.
Yes,
Uncle
yes,
should not carry on
yes,
your laps.
yes,
Uncle should not hug. I'm like, oh, okay. She's in. So I had to look for some way to
So,
say,
yes. Tremendous situation.
Wahala.
It
Okay,
is.
now, Mrs. Amego, parents who are home this period, they complain about one thing, mainly they're stressed, they're tired. When is the school resuming? Let these children go back. You know, before the holidays, they're like, these children, they are stressed. And let them rest. But when they start, I am stressed. When will they go back? So how do you handle, how, you're a mom too, maybe from your wealth of experience will learn, how would you advise parents to handle the stress? Then some already start having anxiety before the holidays will start.
Wow.
They're thinking about the cost, they're thinking about
Yes,
the
so many
constant
things.
cooking, the shouting. Oh my God, the shouting, that's something else. So how can we deal with the stress and the anxiety that comes from these holidays?
Oh, thank you for that question. I want to put it this way. To me, I believe having a child, or when you have children, there should be planning. Immediately you see that they are coming for holidays, or their holidays approaching.
Yeah.
On your own, you should plan, especially as a mother. One, you must know what you are going to give them, because they consume more. How you're going to prepare food. Like me, I'm a working class. Before I leave the home, I will bake my breakfast. I will make provision for the lunch.
Okay.
I'll know when I'm coming back, I'm coming for the dinner. So, though they are grown up, they are all teenagers. So
You don't have stress.
when they were still
earlier
very,
years.
when they were still very young, when they were still very young, the same thing I do.
Okay.
If the holiday is coming, first thing you need to make our preparation for that.
Yeah.
You look for what are you going to do to engage the children. I believe the children will be restless when they are not properly engaged.
Yeah.
So like mine, I look for something that will make them to be more productive. Like I engage them in things that will add value to them. Though they are resting because of holiday from books and every other thing, but you can engage them in things that will not give them chances to stress you. Like now, during this holiday, I engage my child to go into violin lectures. So by the time she will go for the violin, they will give her they will give her assignment. She will not have the time to disturb me.
Sure.
Yeah, she will not.
I should be looking
Then
forward to the
again,
next
lesson.
class.
Yes, she'll be looking forward to the next class, what she's going to do to make herself happy. Then for the boy, I have to negotiate with somebody that can teach him in coding.
Okay.
So in IT-wise, he's already adding value to himself. So by the time he's going back to school, he's going to be a better person. So for us to be able to manage stress as parents, you have to plan for it. Ensure you are close to your child. Make sure you know what that child actually wants, or maybe like interest. Then engage it. Before you know, you even be the one calling him or his attention. That please, I want to talk to you, because they are already engaged. Though they are not reading, but they are doing something that is adding value to them. So to me as parent, when there's holiday or holiday is approaching, make a plan for how you are going to manage the children, how you are going to manage the home, and how you are going to add value to the life of your children. I think that one is better. Yes,
Okay.
it's not stressful to handle children during the holidays.
Okay, we had one story on social media recently, I think last one, July. It was August, July. The boy is 8 and said he wanted to be an engineer.
Okay.
The parents are not very rich, still in primary school. But during the holiday, they registered him with one of the roadside mechanics within the area. And I was watching the news, I felt, okay, it makes a lot of sense, but is 8 years not too young? When I raised it up, my husband was of a different opinion and says, how old are they in China that are producing things? But what do you think about this?
I think there's no age that is too young for a child to be developed, especially in this generation. What I observed is this. In our own generation, teachers will have to come and teach you before you will know something. But with this advent of technology, even when you don't teach them, you discover they know it.
True.
That's why even your phone, as a baby, your child can teach you how to operate your phone.
Very true.
So I think it's not too late to start exposing them to things that will add value to their future. I know of a particular guy, a child, I think the boy was about 12 years old. So when the boy finished, I think maybe JSS3 or thereabout, they told the parents, I want to go and be learning how to repair computer. And when this boy started doing that at Akure, here, very close to us. So the boy started doing that in the computer village. Before you know it, this boy developed interest into programming. From there, he entered into coding. As I'm talking to you now, the boy just finished SS3. But because of the client that are linked in with international body in US, they are asking him to come over, to come and develop some coding for them. To the extent maybe it's Apple or thereabout, they are negotiating to buy the...
It's some of those things work is done.
So, but the guy is saying no, because now he has not even gotten admission to university, but people are they're already buying,
interested in him.
The intellectual capacity of the boy. So to me, it's not too young. Even if your child is just 3 years old, and you discover he's having interest in a particular thing, encourage the child. Before you know it, the child will become something great that you'll be proud of in life.
Yeah,
Okay. Now, talking about engaging children, like I said in the opening, when your holidays are about to come, I'm eager. I'm tired of school already. In secondary school, I was living in boarding house, so I'm looking forward to coming home.
Yeah.
But when I get home, after 1 week tops, I'm so fed up. I just want to go back. My reasons were, my own case was a little bit special because I was the last child, so everyone was trying to oppress me. That's how I felt. So this one just calls, Osato, they don't even call me Daisy. Osato, go and do this one. Osato, except my dad is around. When my dad is around, nobody talks to me. I'm the angel. But really, after a while, you get bored. We didn't really have phones as it is now, and even if they were phones, the first phone I used was just a touchlight phone in SS3. Phones just came out, and my dad would still caution how you use it. So even if they were phones, they were desktop computers, there were limits to which we could even gain access, what we could do with it. But most parents now, how they engage their children, especially the younger ones, the ones in primary school, is TV time. So they wake up in the morning, is on either Cartoon Network, Disney Junior, Jim Jam. I know all of them. I have a baby. Jim Jam, Nickelodeon. They are constantly engaged, and they watch as they're watching. The mom is free or the dad is free to do one or two other. Then more food, more drinks, more snacks. If it's not that, more playtime. Carry your bicycles, just go out and play. Lock the gates, be around. So how do we monitor? How much of this would you say is too much? How many hours would you recommend for TV time a day? What, apart from, for those who do not have maybe the financial wherewithal for skill acquisition classes and all the other extracurricular dance classes and stuff. So what would you recommend? Because we know there's, and at what point is it too much?
Well, interestingly, our children generally, have their energy level is quite high. Sometimes you wonder where they see that energy from. They could play and play and play and forget about food in some cases. Yeah, if they see things they are so much interested in. So what I'm trying to bring out is that, just like she mentioned earlier, and you've mentioned some additional points, let's engage them productively from even tender ages, as long as they can do things with their hands, then they should be gainfully engaged. For example, okay, she had mentioned music-related issues. These days now, even talking of the phones which you mentioned, which is something that is so common now, you could even engage them productively with that phone. There are a number of online skills, even from tender ages of 6, 7, that they could enroll for. Some of these, some are free, some are paid for even very little amounts. I mean, with 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 naira, you could get some of these online courses, and the children are engaged for a period of time. And they're able to do assignments rather than just whiling away their time with some irrelevant things. No, I'm still talking on the phone now.
Okay.
Irrelevant things with their phones, and we know the dangers in it. Though, of course, as parents, we could also have parental control over their phones and all that. If you ask the right questions, you will know how to get some of these things done to monitor the usage, what they do with the phones. So that is there. Then, of course, allow them to play. Talking of too much or too little, I wouldn't say it's only when the play is maybe, like they say, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So they should play reasonably, as long as it's not a play that is detrimental to their health and all that. And then where funds are not available, there are still creative things one could do. You could engage the kids with like-minded kids in the neighborhood or in the family to engage themselves in productive activities. For example, these days now that we see so many things happening, some kids can even engage in comedy for the fun of it. Are you getting me?
Start making money.
Yeah, start making money. Even though that is not the goal. That is not the goal, but they could even engage in it, try to bring out their creativity and all that, you know. That is something. And before you know it, they are looking forward to the next holiday when they can unleash all these potentials within themselves. Yeah.
So, at the discretion of the parents, that's when you judge what's too much, and what's not. Okay. Well, you're watching Flipside, and we're talking about the long holidays, even though my guests have said it's not long. It's not long enough. Yes, we used to go on that break middle of August and resume middle of July, then resume middle of August. Or, September. Yeah, we go middle of July, resume September. It's always September for the new term. But now they go August and resume September. Early September. But it's all right. They still said it's not long enough. It's okay. We'll go on a short break quickly. When we return from that break, our discussion definitely will continue. Don't go away. It's the flip side, the other side of the news, and we're talking about this 2022 long holidays and tips for parents and kids to maintain health and wellness. Now, we've talked about how they can manage themselves to avoid stress, to avoid boredom, to prevent unnecessary accidents and dangers. Now, we're going to talk about another activity that seems to be a trend in Nigeria, or should I say Edo State, yes, because not every state in Nigeria has embraced it. But anyway, my name is Daisy Leo Asikidi. I have Mr. Omo Ihirida in the house, and I have Mrs. Amego with me in the studio, and together we're having this discussion. Now, let's talk about summer holidays. At least that's what's called. First of all, we don't have summer school. Summer school, yes, that's it. We don't have summer. I want you all to know that one. In fact, we have rainy season right now. Maybe you should have rainy season school. But it started with just a few schools, and now it seems like all schools have summer school. The curriculum for that summer school is not like a government-controlled curriculum. So I can have a school and decide in my summer school is going to be more book work to cover some part of the next session's work. I could have a summer school and say, this is my summer school, we're just going to be learning how to dance. So different schools with their different curriculum. I would direct this question to you, Mrs. Amigo. What do you think about the idea of summer school inside holiday?
The idea of summer school, I think, is very good. The summer school can really take care of some academic activities that will make the child to come out, excellently in the next section. But what I discovered about summer school is that it's not all 100% book education. What they are doing, they also imbibe other activities that can really that can improve on the intelligence of the child. And that is why I personally believe in the summer school. Like in summer school, some of them here in Benin, I know one, they play keyboard, dancing school, they play saxophone. In fact, one of them is teaching my child how to play violin. And also, they can also teach them on educative things that can help them when they resume for the next session. I think it's very good. So that you engage the child productively to keep them from being idle and to add value to them. I think it's okay.
Do you support her?
Yes, but well, I support her. She has said some of what I would have said, the caveat I would have put. It depends on the activities that the schools are engaging the children with. For me, if it's just purely academic activities, then I will not support it, because you just finished one and then you are going into another one. You should allow the boy to stay, rest, and do some other things. So it depends on the activity. So like she has mentioned, I also know a number of schools who do some other co-curricular activities in addition to, apart from the academic work. And I think they do less of academic work, so it depends on the exact activity. And then, sorry to say, I think another thing that has come up there, you asked a question earlier on how to engage them.
Yes.
So the schools really have seen a gap that parents more than before are engaged, working, both mothers and fathers. So they've actually come in to fill that gap. I think that's basically what they are doing. So they are trying to fill that gap. There's a need. And I always define business as meeting the needs of people. So when the need arises and someone meets that need, the business has taken place. So that's what we're seeing.
Okay, you just talked about working parents. You're both working and you're both parents. In fact, I was surprised when Ms. Amiga even said she has done her ICANN with children in the house. I mean, it's not easy to read when you have kids at home. And the part that really boggled my mind when she said she didn't have a maid. That one, it's not easy.
Serious.
It's not easy. So we need to know what tips would you offer to working parents, how they can have a balance, manage their time, still be able to engage their children, still from that busy schedule, have time for themselves. Most times it falls on the woman, but these days it doesn't follow like that again. Men also have to stay sometimes at home when the man is one pursuing maybe more degrees or more money at that point. So a little few tips.
Oh, thank you. I think, let me use myself as an example. The first thing I did was to know the level of my stress and how to handle it. You need to understand yourself as a parent for you to be able to take care of any child. when I was preparing for my professional exams, I'll tell you something that is very funny. I assimilate more when I'm stressed up.
Yeah.
We have some people,
I
they
experience
assimilate more
similarity too. It's true.
when they are listening to music. We have some, they assimilate more when everywhere is quiet. For me, when I'm so tired and exhausted, that's when I assimilate more. So what I did was to understand my system.
Okay.
Then I used that also to now prepare and plan on how to handle my children. Because when you are preparing yourself and you leave your children behind, it's going to rubbish whatever you have done for yourself. So what I did was I ensure I take care of the children. I make sure I speak to them and they will listen to me. It's a matter of telling them, go and sleep. If I want to read, I'll just tell them, go and sleep. And thank God, God gave me children that will listen to me. But for you to be able to ensure that your children will listen to you, the first thing you need to do is, though we have them in the womb, but let me tell you, even the pregnancy of every child are very different.
Yeah.
The way you carry them, the way you even give birth to them are so different. So you must understand your child. So when you understand your child very well, you discover handling the child won't be stressful. So because of that, I don't have any help. I was able to do everything possible to make sure it will not be stressful to me and it will not be stressful to the children. At the same time, I'm their lesson teacher. I teach them at home. I still read. I will go to work, and I will still ensure everything is okay. So it's not that simple. It's not that easy. But with the help of my husband, with the help of my in-laws too, because at times when I have to go to the class, I have to drop the child, at least to wait to stay with them before I'll come back from the lecture and all the stuff. So to me, if you are actually a working class mother, try to understand your system, then understand the strength of your child. But no matter how tired you are, you must at least give 1 hour attention to your child. When you give the attention, you discover they will confide more in you. Like when you see me and my children, we talk, we gist. There's nothing they cannot tell me. Why? Because I developed that attitude in them right from when they were very young. So as a mother, during this holiday, that is the only time you have to really make impact in the life of those children. So that as they are growing up, you discover we have some children, when they are grown up, they don't have any affection for their parents. Why? Because it was not there when they were growing up. So it's an opportunity for us, understand your system, understand your children, then plan on how you're going to make a productive impact in the life of the children. As a working mother, it's not a bad thing. You can cope with the help of God. It's possible.
How do you feel?
That's enough here.
Good. Okay. Let me just, so that you just add a few more tips if you have for how to also develop friendship with your kids. Some parents have developed so much friendship that the kids do not see them as parents anymore, but as mates. So in as much as you want to be friends with them, they also want to be their parents. So I can gist to my child and to say, go to your room, and the child goes to the room and say, why? So what other tips would you rather add for parents to develop that bond so they are not overdoing or underdoing and still stay as parents?
Yes, we must know when to be firm as a parent. You must know when to be free with them. She mentioned something which is instructive, that we should consciously, deliberately, especially at their formative years, create time for them, listen more to them, hear more from them. If I may quote something the Bible says, it says we should be swift to hear, slow to speak, and then slow to wrath. In child upbringing, I think that also comes to bear. It's not you just dishing out instructions, dishing out commands, shouting. Also, pull back a little and hear from them. So by so doing, you are enhancing that bond. But at the same time, you must know when to be firm. God who we serve, who says who is a loving father, is also firm. He disciplines us. He does not just leave. When they misbehave, discipline them. But then you should know when to also call them, bring them together.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. The last question I'll just ask both of you before we go. Your last words on the show in general, and at the end of this holiday in September, what would have happened that you now say this was a productive holiday? So I'll start with you because I started the show with you.
Well, two of them are in the university, for which we are trusting on the grace of HASU and the government to resolve that.
Hey.
while the third one is still in secondary school. So, but for me, if at the end of the day they're able to gain 1 or 2 vocational skills, especially more technically inclined, I'll be glad. If they've found themselves useful, for me personally as a Christian, find themselves useful in God's vineyard, if we put it that way, this period of the holiday, I'm glad. If they find themselves able to have added 1 or 2 things to what they know in how to handle issues of life, then I'm glad. Like I said, the holiday has been a useful one.
Okay.
And of course, for those in the university, when ASU calls off the strike, I will know that the holiday is over.
Okay, Mrs. Amigo.
I'll be glad and know that the holiday is a productive one because the plans that we had for them is we also allow them to have input in the holiday themselves. Like one of my children now is not around. He's in the camp.
Oh, okay.
So with that, she's been able to mix with other people. She'll be able to learn things about God. And despite the fact that I'm not with her, I call her regularly. She gives me feedback of what is going on over there. And also for other children, I discovered, like my son is into saxophone. So he's also into computer, you know. So at the end of the holiday, you discover that it's possible you have schoolmates, but you don't have a mate. Yeah. It's possible for you to have schoolmates,
Yes.
but in actual sense, you are not mates. So why not? I discovered that after this holiday, by the time they go back to school, you discover that they will only have schoolmates, but they don't have mates, which is better. There was a time, one of the holidays, we bought Rubik Cube
Okay, yeah.
for my son, and he decided to learn it. As I'm talking to you now, he's a guru in it. He's a guru in it. So there was a time he went to school, and some of the classmates or somebody brought it. This thing, do you know it is this and that? Can you solve it? And he said, I can solve it. The guy said for almost a month he's not been able to solve it. Do you know, less than 2 minutes, he was through with it. Come and teach me. He was telling them some codes and some other things. So if you introduce your child during the holiday to things that will develop their future, you discover your child will not have a mate. So this holiday, after this holiday, I can boastfully say
It was
that
productive.
It's very, very productive. Yeah.
Interesting. That's so sweet. Okay. I know you agree with me that we have to bring Mr. Afebo Omoihiroda and Mrs. Ambimbola Amego back to the studio to draw from their wealth of experience and their bank of knowledge. All right, maybe I will not be the one on flip side, but at least I will be on TMI. So whichever one, they will definitely be back on ITV. It's been a fun show today, and I've learned a whole lot. My kid is just one child, and she's not CS in secondary school. So let me start prepping myself ahead. I have my plans. She's going to dance ballet. She's going to, well, now I know I need to observe what she's most interested in, not just about what I want, and then I develop that particular skill. That's not to say I will not teach her and put my small inside. All right, people, please stay safe this holiday. Stay active. Do a lot of intelligent and productive things. It's not about schoolwork, read this, read, answer the exercise underneath. It could be other things. You could learn how to swim. You could learn how to bake. You could learn how to dance. Yes, you could learn how to act a movie, go to drama classes. You could learn how to play an instrument, how to sew. You could learn how to repair computers. You could learn a whole lot. For those who are more grown, you could even go to Bible college quickly and just get ASU's on strike safe. Go to theological school, understand the history behind some scriptures, so that when they're telling you, you'll not be lost. But make sure you're constantly doing something that will make you a better person, as not just only a BSc holder in microbiology, and so I can tell you all the organisms that is in my textbook. Even though if you put it down, I cannot identify it. No, you need to do much more than that. All right, time will permit us, we'll leave you with a documentary on aloe vera. Or if our time is up, we have to pack our bags and go. So if we have enough time, let's have that documentary on aloe vera.
Health experts regard aloe vera as nature's most impressive and versatile herb. This herb is safe to use externally and internally. People across the globe use aloe vera for treating various health conditions, ranging from minor burns to cancer. Some of the uses of aloe vera externally include hair loss treatment. Use pure aloe vera gel to combat hair loss. Massage aloe